SCP-1139. Object Class Euclid. You know what? We're going to do something else today. Instead of some boring word-for-word reading, we're going to shine a light on this particular entry. It is no secret I have a particular interest for the Church of the Broken God. Now, we are familiar with their clockwork fetish and their proclivity to throw random bits together, and that is what makes the next object stand out all the more. What makes SCP-1139 containment procedure even more intriguing is the use of other SCPs, like 1206 as a countermeasure to SCP-1139. But why? Language is one of the most complex and useful tools humanity has ever conceived. First, we learn to communicate concepts more complex than slapping rocks together. Then we learn to teach younger generations how to survive. Then created stories to convey moral lessons and history. And finally, we managed to translate these sounds into symbols we know today as writing. Languages unite us, but also divide us. Words inspire both hope and fear. It can give a single goal to work towards, but when the message gets lost in translation, the road we paved crumbles underneath our feet as we wander aimlessly, unable to ask anyone for directions. SCP-1139 consists out of a metallic, rectangular block, roughly 20 centimeters high and 5 centimeters square at its base. Its overall density is twice of that of iron, which makes it impervious to both deterioration and damage. The sides are patterned with square protrusions in an unrecognizable pattern which can be confirmed by touch. Viewers of the pattern, or photos thereof, observe the protrusions as block letters in a language they are familiar with. This is merely a visual illusion. On the bottom of the object there are 4 crevices, each coated in a copper-colored substance. The object itself is inert, however it becomes active if electricity is applied to SCP-1139. Upon application of electricity, the object affects all individuals within a given radius through unknown means. Any person within the radius of effect begins speaking and writing a new language, but remains unaware of doing so and loses the ability to speak or comprehend any prior known languages. Despite sounding like gibberish, these new languages are fully formed, but all attempts at translation have been met with complete failure. Then again, this is the SCP Foundation, so that ain't saying much. The radius of the effect is exponentially proportional to the wattage applied to it. For example, a static shock created a radius of about 80 centimeters. Apparently, the Foundation also applied a direct lightning strike, however they expunged the results. Whatever happened, it terrifies the Foundation. Subjects exposed to SCP-1139 have proven incapable of learning or relearning any real-world languages after exposure. But Class AA amnestics successfully counteracted the effects, though the subjects thereafter are of little use to the Foundation. The Foundation performed various experiments with this SCP. In the first experiment, they applied alternating current to SCP-1139. However, this caused the subject to grab his head and scream in a way it somehow managed to injure SCP staff members. Somehow. But the staff members remained fine otherwise. Since then, scientists only applied direct current to SCP-1139. During test SCP-1139-E, a D-Class was asked to sing the alphabet song while exposed to SCP-1139. Then the head researcher, recorded here as Dr. A, handed him the Voynich manuscript. This is a manuscript from the 15th century, notorious for being untranslatable. Dr. A believed she could translate what the D-Class read out loud based on his rendition of the alphabet song, but she failed and needed to take a leave of absence to recover. During the next test, Dr. A tried something similar, but this time the D-Class needed to write down the alphabet and numbers 1 to 50 while exposed to SCP-1139. Dr. A believed this would provide her with a Rosetta Stone, but again, 4 months later, she had to take another leave of absence due to stress, and the writings were locked away. But the dear doctor couldn't leave well enough alone, and illegally exposed herself to SCP-1139. She spoke 8 languages prior to exposure, and now she is blessed with 8 new ones, and a permanent residence in a long-term care medical facility where she's kept under suicide watch. Now we know what SCP-1139 is capable of. Where does it come from? SCP-1139 was recovered when Mobile Task Force Delta 5, the Frontrunners, raided a Church of the Broken God outpost in Normal, Illinois. Within a basement, they found a demented and violent elderly man holding the object. With him were countless handmade documents. These range from ancient stone tablets to modern writing. The oldest of these documents apparently predate the Church of the Broken God and did not appear to be written in any known language. The Foundation recovered the object and stored it at Research Area 39. However, on the 28th of June, 1879, a number of civilian vehicles approached the research area from both access roads. Foundation personnel barely managed to maintain their cover identities when speaking with the trespassers who claimed they were here for a youth jamboree. The Foundation personnel tried to explain to them that this was actually a hunting lodge and they were sent to the wrong location. But the departure of the trespassers was stalled to a constant stream of new arrivals, including youths. 20 minutes later, both adults and the children pulled weapons from their camping gear and attempted to breach the research area in a coordinated attack. Battle cries consistent with the rhetoric of the Church of the Broken God were heard, as well as references to the tongue and the voice. The cult members managed to breach the perimeter, but Mobile Task Force Row 5 Beasting converged on the research area and countered the assault, containing the fleeing civilians with acceptable casualties. Since this incident, SCP-1139 has been moved, but unfortunately it does not explain why the Church of the Broken God wants this object so badly, or what they meant with the voice or the tongue. But that is all that is revealed about SCP-1139's origin, and it's rather disappointing. What is interesting about this entry are the various cross-anomalous experiments with SCP-1139, SCP-444, and SCP-1206. Starting with SCP-444. This is a linguistically conveyed memetic virus that spreads by both written and verbal communication. Just like subjects affected by SCP-1139, individuals exposed to SCP-444 lose their ability to learn other languages, although they typically retain their ability to understand previously understood language. The most notable effect for SCP-444's infection is compliance and the inability to express concepts such as rebellion, hatred and violence by making changes in the human brain structure. The Foundation tested the effects on groups of D-Class personnel with violent backgrounds who ended up creating well-functioning anarchic communes who were very accepting to outsiders and accepted anyone as their new leader right away, as if they were their big brother, so to speak. And they show no desire to resist subjugation. I guess you could say that SCP-444 is kinda like a airborne newspeak, as George Orwell called the restructuring of language in his novel 1984, or the completed form thereof. A society in which feelings of resentment or rebellion cannot be expressed or acted upon, therefore stripping humanity of its very nature. Interestingly, during experiment SCP-1139-M, exposure of subjects infected by SCP-1139 can still be infected by SCP-444 and are still able to converse with other SCP-444 infected individuals. However, during the next experiment, SCP-1139-N, when a subject already infected by SCP-444 came in contact with SCP-1139, the whole thing became a shit show, resulting in a number of fatalities. I wish I was there to see it. More tests were conducted with personnel infected by SCP-1206. SCP-1206 involves a lime green train whose passengers, under certain weather conditions in a certain area referred to as the hot zone, the passengers experience a unexplained sense of awe and the sublime as they become captivated by the outside environment. Foundation researchers have speculated that the subjects have been unable to describe SCP-1206 because it appeals to a latent form in the human mind that cannot be accurately defined by formalized language. As exposed subjects relay compulsion to communicate their experience of the hot zone, individuals infected will invariably develop a new language, referred to as SCP-1206-A, that will replace their preferred methods of communication. A language of the subconscious that is wholly unique. SCP-1206-A has words for the exact appearance or impression of any object or person. For example, speakers of SCP-1206-A would go beyond describing the parts or attributes of a person's face and call every face a unique word. Now, because this language has a word for every individual object, you can imagine this language has a near infinite body of words used to encapsulate and describe a wide variety of objects, including faces, bodies, the appearance of the sky on any given day, or even every individual mound of dirt. And if that word does not exist yet, someone who speaks SCP-1206-A will invent it, and any other speaker will accept it and understand that word, as these words just seem to fit that given object like a glove.
Oh, durka durka durka.
More such hot zones have been recovered, infecting more people with SCP-1206, a process that, if this would continue, is expected to lead to a complete restructuring or a collapse of society. Just think of the number of ideologies and religious convictions alone that would emerge from such a language. Then again, other speakers would always know exactly what you are talking about because every word communicates every conceivable emotional sensation and concept we humans can experience. And that is it. No word deity worship or slave-like behavior, just a potential loss of group identity, if you care about such a thing. The reason SCP-1206 is relevant to SCP-1139 is that all security personnel are supposed to be infected by SCP-1206. As it turned out during experiments, these people are immune to SCP-1139's effects. Again, useful. Rather, SCP-1206 makes you immune to SCP-444. I'm not aware of such experiments, but based on earlier cross-experimentation between SCP-444 and SCP-1139, it might depend on the order in which the anomalies are applied. Now, with SCP-444 restructuring language to create a peaceful society without the ability to express thought, and SCP-1206 that can encapsulate every concept and sensation, where does that leave SCP-1139? Experiment SCP-1139-Q probably says it all. SCP-1139 was activated carefully to affect 4 of the 5 subjects. The subjects quickly realized that none of them understood the other. The unaffected subject acted virtually identical to the others, despite still speaking English. Long-term remote surveillance commenced. Without meaningful external verbal stimuli, subjects exhibited typical reactions, analogous to solitary confinement and development of a crude, hierarchy-based society. Would the effects of SCP-1139 infect the masses, it could spell the end of society, as no human could communicate with another except by non-verbal means, which in this case would quickly lead to violence as individuals become isolated from everyone else. Skills cannot be taught, stories remain untold, and all that was learned is lost to the ages. The dangers of SCP-1139 are clear. So what is it? A weapon? A mistake? I'm sure all will be revealed in time. Now we may not know all that much about the Church inner workings. We can only assume that what they meant with the tongue or the voice, or should I say, whose tongue? Well, let's hope that certain somebody doesn't get his voice back. Well, I hope to see you all at the next seminar. A special thanks to CBG Spender and Kathy Ma of Steamy Wonders. And wait. Did I just say words that meant these specific individuals to support or work on this specific subscribe star? Is it true? Am I infected with SC? No, wait, that's just how names work. Kind of think of it, maybe I could use SCP-444 to make people like this video and press the subscribe button and share this on their social media.